We are told the moon is a natural satellite that orbits the Earth. But is it really? I personally don't believe so because there is nothing natural about it. I will start off this thread by simply showing you the mathematical impossibility of the solar eclipse. Few people stop to think about how much of a coincidence it is that the moon perfectly blots out the sun during an eclipse. This is only possible because the moon is exactly 400 times smaller than the sun, and the sun is exactly 400 times further from the Earth than the moon is. This does not happen anywhere else in the known universe. There really is no logical explanation for this. It's very improbable that this is happening by chance, and it's as if someone or something put it there. However, there are many more abnormalities. The moon is far too big to be a, quote, true moon. It's about 1/4 the size of Earth, making it the biggest moon in relation to its planet in our solar system. Just look at it in comparison to other moons, then look at how big Earth is compared to Jupiter. Simply put, the moon should not be orbiting the Earth the way it is. The moon is also 1 billion times older than the Earth. This makes the big whack theory difficult to compensate, the theory that Earth was whacked by another planet, leaving debris to form the moon over time. The theory claims the moon was originally a rogue planet flying through space, which was captured by Earth's gravitational pull. But again, it's too large for this to really work, so once more, the moon seems as if it were placed there. In fact, there really are no working theories. You would think the moon's origin is something we would just know by now. Nope. But few actually talk about this. We just accept the moon's existence without a question. The moon also appears to be hollow. Between 1972 and 1977, seismometers installed on the moon by Apollo missions were used to record moonquakes. When Apollo 12 deliberately crashed a module into its surface, it was claimed the moon rang like a bell for over an hour. So what's exactly inside? In 1970, two Russian scientists, Michael Vasin and Alexander Shcherbakov, proposed a hypothesis that the moon is a spaceship created by highly advanced beings who inhabited the interior. This theory was even published in a popular Soviet magazine.
We also have the Russian research, and that document claims that the moon we see was put in the sky 18,000 BC. There was a man named Dr. Harold Urey, who was a Nobel Prize winner for chemistry, who commented on the disparity of density between the Earth and the moon and concluded that it had a massive cavity, or it was hollow. Dr. Farouk Elbaz, he talked about density problems and came to the conclusion publicly, but not in the direct public eye, that there were caverns so big one would think the moon is hollow. Now, if we keep moving into NASA, Dr. Gordon MacDonald and Dr. Sean Solomon said that the moon is hollow. Wernher von Braun, who most people are familiar with, in 1970, I believe it was in Popular Science, said that Apollo 13 was going to probe the inside of the moon. We all know what happened with Apollo 13.
There's also supposed evidence that there are alien bases and even entire cities on the surface of the moon. You can also find videos of UFOs landing on it and taking off. But why can't we see these things? Perhaps there is a fake moon hologram being projected on top of the real one. Back in 2014, conspiracy theorist and YouTuber Crow777 accidentally caught something strange on tape. A wave on the moon, similar to static on a TV screen.
And there's the second wave. Oh, I'm sorry, that was the first wave. There's the second wave. I'm looking at a small window here. I apologize. And we're going to take another close view of this with filters applied. Now this capture is reminiscent of a couple that I've shot that are very quick and clear. Here comes the first wave. There it goes, and here comes the second wave right behind it. And there's the wave. Now glance into the lower left, and you'll see the wave come through that corner. Here it comes now. The wave comes in, it goes out of frame, and then catches up to the camera, which has always meant this was never an equipment failure. Not to mention that it's an organic wave and digital instruments don't fail that way. So in closing, we have footage here that is not dismissible anymore. There is a wave event occurring on our moon. I have guessed that it may be a hologram. There have been many speculations on what it is, but the point is it's a confirmed event. Where is NASA? Where are any space agencies? Where are the observatories on this planet on this lunar wave. If I can have this much footage of an occurrence like this, there's no way that these people aren't aware of it. So they're hiding it.
The moon is so important. Not only does it tug on the ocean's tides as well as our emotions, turning us into lunatics, but without it, life as we know it could not exist. It's no wonder people used to worship the damn thing. There's actually some ancient cultures that reference a time when there was no moon. According to a Zulu legend, our hollow moon was put in place by two brothers with scaly, fish-like skin. The legends of Wowane and Mpaku brought the moon to Earth after stealing it from a great fire dragon. Only after emptying out its egg-like planet off its yolk did they place it in Earth's orbit. Curious how the ancient cosmic egg symbol has a serpent coiled around it. And who was the Great Fire Dragon? Planet X, or Nibiru, is a hypothetical ninth planet spoken of in ancient cultures as the god's homeworld. NASA has just begun to take its existence seriously. Supposedly, its strange orbit caused it to go unseen for thousands of years. This planet has often been compared to the Red Dragon from the Book of Revelation. Perhaps aliens brought the moon with them from their home world. The bottom right picture is from an area Google Sky has blotted out. Some people think it's an incoming Nibiru.
Was there a time before there was a moon in our sky? And I think there is more than enough evidence to demonstrate that there was. So we're going to start with Aristotle. Aristotle talked about a people called the Pro-Selenes.
Essentially, it means the time before the moon. Ancient people had a word to describe incidences or people, other races of people who came before the moon. In ancient writings and traditions, one can find proof of a time when the moon did not exist. Democritus and Anaxagoras mention that there was a time when no moon could be seen in the night skies. In describing the history of the Greek regions of Arcadia, Aristotle writes that the Pelasgians lived in an area since very old times, at a time when the moon did not exist. Apollonius from Rhodes mentions something similar. He talks about a time when not all of the celestial objects existed in the sky, before the time of Deucalion's and Pyrrha's generation, before the cataclysm, when the moon did not exist and the only humans that existed were the Pelasgians, living on the mountains of Arcadia, region in Greece. These inhabitants of Arcadia were also known as the Prolentes, meaning those that were before the moon in Greek. In Plutarch's work, Moros, we find the following. There were Arcadians of Evander's following, the so-called pre-lunar people. Similarly, Ovid wrote, the Arcadians are said to have possessed their land before the birth of Zeus, and the folk is older than the moon. Stephanus of Byzantium wrote, Arcadians and females both exist before the moon. Hippolytus refers to the legend that Arcadia brought forth Pelasgus, of greater antiquity than the moon. Lucianus, in his astrology, says that the Arcadians affirm in their folly that they are older than the moon. Evidence has also been found in other parts of the world. In Bolivia, symbols on the walls of the courtyard of Calasaya, built in 1300 BC, provide evidence that the moon came into orbit around the Earth at a specific moment in time thousands of years ago, long before what mainstream historians refer to as recorded history. Moreover, the calendar gate in the same site provides evidence that a smaller satellite once rotated around the Earth. The oral traditions of Colombian Indians of the Bogota Highlands in the eastern Cordilleras of Colombia refer to a time before the moon. In the earliest times, when the moon was not yet in the heavens, says the tribesman of Chibchas. Africa also provides its own evidence. According to Zulu legend, the moon was brought hundreds of generations ago by two brothers of alien form, Wowane and Mpanku. What does it all mean? The ancient memory of an Earth inhabited by humans without a moon has been passed from generations to generation, forming the traditions of numerous civilizations.
Yep.